السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Walid Fitehi for his generous invitation to us. I realize very much how busy is his schedule and how tired he is since early morning. He gets woke up. We are neighbors, so I see him every day after Fajr prayer, doing his one page of Quran every day, and then he come direct to the. So he should be very tired by now. But thank you very much for welcoming us into the hospital. It's a great honor to us. This group that you see, it's about 2/3 of our team. Unfortunately, you are in Jeddah, and people, once they finish the week in Medina, they have backlog of things, so they started, to go back and look after their business. Alhamdulillah, I would like to tell you that the first week in Medina was very successful. We have people, alhamdulillah, from 16 different countries. The group is about 50 participants, alhamdulillah. And the first week was extremely successful, and being close to Haram was a very great opportunity to all of us. I would like to give you a very quick introduction about Dr. Walid Fitehi. Dr. Walid Fitehi is the founder, chairman of the board of directors, and the chief executive officer of the International Medical Center, IMC, based in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He has been pioneering the development of the IMC project since its inception in 1997, beginning from the conduction of the initial market research and feasibility studies to finding the right private investors who share the same vision, raising independently the 350 million Saudi riyal for the financial guarantee of the project success. Dr. Fitehi completed his Bachelor of Science in Systems Engineering and received his medical degree from the George Washington University, United States of America. Dr. Fitehi also has a Master of Public Health degree in Health Policy and Management from Harvard School of Public Health, United States of America. He is American Board Certified, specialized in internal medicine and endocrinology. Endocrinology. He completed his internship and residency and joined a fellowship in endocrinology at Harvard Medical School's affiliate. He was also an instructor of medicine at Harvard Medical School and a strong advocate of patient education. Dr. Fitehi is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Saudi Council of Health Specialists, the highest healthcare council in Saudi Arabia. In addition to his medical practice, he is committed to community services and voluntary activity. Over the years, he has delivered a number of lectures on topics related to medical, social, and cultural issues, and has published hundreds of articles in various magazines and newspapers focusing on both health-related and non-health-related topics. His mission in life is to bring a breadth of a new vision that would enhance the quality of healthcare and to ensure that the IMC truly represents a major paradigm shift in healthcare delivery in the region. This Dr. Walid Fitehi is married, has 5 children, Ahmed, Mariam, Yusuf, Ibrahim, and Isa. He enjoys fishing and swimming. For the first time, I went diving. I went in a diving trip. And I decided just to sit in the boat. I never imagined in my life I would be diving. So Dr. Walid Fitehi, after several jumps into the water and diving, he looked at me, "What are you doing there?" I said, "I will never go down." After giving me his diving set, they had very hard time convincing me to get out. So we thank you, Dr. Walid Fitehi, for his invitation. And inshallah, you will find another role model after listening to Savola and Abdul Latif Jamil yesterday. This is a local successful model that inshallah will inspire all of us to achieve highest degrees of success inshallah.
So wait to clap. Just see what I do first. Maybe you don't like what I'm gonna say today. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد النبي الأمين على آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is a very young organization compared to the two you mentioned, which is Savola, Abdi Jamil, and look at it as a very small plant. However, I hope it has the right characteristics to grow to be a very strong tree, inshallah, in the near future. I need the remote. Okay. See, I start always with this slide. Life is full of choices. And when you read the Holy Quran, the book, there's a verse regarding a story of Dhil Qarnayn in Surah Al-Kahf, which we read every Friday. And it says, إِنَّا أَتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. We give him from everything a cause. So إِنَّا أَتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. So how many causes he got? إِنَّا أَتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. We gave him from everything a cause. So how many he got? So many that approaches infinity, for those mathematics. Yeah, it approaches the infinity. But the following verse, it should have said, فَأَتْبَعَهُمْ. He followed those because God gave you a cause. You should pursue it, right? It didn't say that. What did it say? فَأَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. Okay? It should say it. فَأَتْبَعَهَا. God gave you causes. You should follow it. Now, what did he say? فَأَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا. He pursue a cause because he has exactly a very clear criteria. Which cause he should pursue and which ones he should not pursue. Because he cannot pursue every single cause God gave him. You can't. So he's very object-oriented. Now, most people in life, they go through life without having very clear criteria of that key. And they go to the wrong door. And then somewhere half their life, they look back behind them, they realize that we have not done what we want to do in life. They go to what we call midlife crisis, and they go to depression. And I don't think it has to do with anything with hormonal. It has to do with the fact people don't realize that they have not fulfilled what they're supposed to do in life. So to me, life is about partnership. And the criteria here should be clear. So today, I'm going to share with you what I believe should be the criteria for any one of us to choose a partner. And to me, life is about partnership. I do not believe in superficial relationships because life is too precious and too short. And to me, without partnership, I will not be able to synchronize and to synergize. So 1 + 1 becomes 11. Anything like 1 + 1 equals less than 11, you're not synergizing. You're not synchronizing. Okay? Should be 11 and more. So the only way you can do that is to have a very clear criteria who you should partner with. Because once you partner with those people, by partnering with the right partner, then 1 + 1 hopefully will equal 11 and 12. Now, to me, my wife is a partnership, my children partnership, my hospital partnership, my doctor's partnership, my vendor's partnership. Okay, even vendors, I want to make sure that they have the same values and ethics. Otherwise, you'll be not helping the right individual. Now, the problem is you have many choices in life. And every day, we are faced with so many choices. And unless we have a very clear criteria that we can even get a sense where should we go, we get confused. And we do have a problem. I call it the dilemma of this age. If you drop somebody in the desert and ask that person, what would be the choice? A watch or a compass? Which one would you choose? A compass. But believe me, the vast majority of people every single day choose the watch over the compass. Look at most of our discussions. We talk about time management, utilization of time, efficiency. But we don't spend enough time talking about where is north and south. And there's so many people in the world and so many organizations They focused so much on time management and optimization and utilization, but they lost their sense of north and south. And the people who do that, they end up at one point of their life depressed. They even commit suicide, even though they have achieved what seems to be success. But they lost their internal compass, their direction. I've seen organizations commit suicide because it lost its sense of direction. They got the money, they have a good financial returns, they have high quality, but they have no sense of direction. Now the whole world is going this direction. Why is that? Because you can even see it in the books which start coming out. You would never see books like that in the past. This is one of the recent books. God is my CEO. And Jesus is my CEO. And many other books just came out. Why is that? Because we are going through different civilization now. We have entered that civilization. We started as hunters. With one hit, you have basically a meal that would feed a whole tribe. Then the next civilization came, which is the agrarian or the agriculture. What happens when this new civilization, first of all, why did we have to go to this civilization? It's a simple law of economics, increase productivity of about 50 times. However, when this civilization started, did the hunters accepted that civilization? No, it didn't. Why? Simple human nature. We are creatures who love status quo. هكذا وجدنا عليه آباءنا. This is something built in. So they resisted the movement, but eventually we became farmers, again because of increased productivity by 50 times. Then came the next civilization, industrial age. Machines start coming into the farmers' land. Did the farmers accept the change? No. Why? Again, creatures of status quo. So they say there's no alternative to the kind hand of the farmer, but eventually machines won. Simple law of economics, increased productivity by 50 times. Then came the next one, which is the information knowledge worker age. Same thing happened. Just to illustrate the point, I'll tell you something happened to me personally. In the early 80s, 1982, we were invited to a lecture at MIT. The auditorium was full of students from Harvard, from Harvard's MIT, Boston University, Tufts University, and the master's PhD. The title of the lecture was a term we heard for the first time in our lives. It was named the internet. And the guy who was talking to us, he says there's something called internet, and it's already here. And with this internet, you can, just touching one button, you can reach hundreds of thousands of people. You can even send pictures. You can even send video clips. He says that you may not need a mail in the future anymore. Now, what do you think? And he looked with the curly hair, he was enthusiastic, had a passion. What do you think we were doing? All those smart, Harvard, MIT, master's, PhD, what do you think we were doing? Now we were laughing at him, no more than suspicious. We were smiling, saying, my God, this guy lost it. He was actually the inventor of the internet with the Pentagon. He was the guy who was ahead of everybody by at least 8 years. Eventually, well, I forgot his name. But basically, at that time, he was ahead of all of us, okay? Did not even pay attention to him at that time. Now it becomes something of common sense now. Even our kids now are ahead of us in using the internet and the Facebook, and my children make fun of me. I don't have a Facebook, and I'm not really up to date with them. I believe, like many others, that the new age called the wisdom age, and that age had started already. In the wisdom age, the pivotal point is no longer the feast or the crops or the machines or the information or knowledge. What do you think the pivotal point, the core is? It's the human being, back to the basics, mind, body, heart, and spirit. In the last 100 years or so, humanity has been trying to find itself by searching outside. We reached the moon. Nevertheless, we could not feed the hungry next door. We were able to understand so much about the cosmos, but we failed to understand the basics of our inner soul. Humanity is lost. Now humanity is trying to find itself. That's why the wisdom age is the pivotal point. What this has to do with the company? Everything. Because I believe in the next 2 decades, only companies, institutions, organizations which understand this concept are the ones who are going to excel. And every other organization, institution, still think in these terms will fall behind. They might be good, but they'll never be excellent or great. Now, this is again, the whole person paradigm: mind, body, heart, and spirit. The problem is, nowadays, most organizations manage people as things. Now, when I say this, many CEOs don't like it. They say, no, we are focusing on human capital. I say, that's fine. But we are inheriting already a culture in which the value is more on the materialistic things. The proof to that is all around us, but we became so numb to it and dull, we don't even see it. How many of you have worked with financial statements? Okay. Good. In the financial statement, with all due respect, all of you and myself are nothing but an expense in the payroll, while the chairs you're sitting on are the capital and assets of the place. Does that make sense to you? And there's so many examples of that sort. So many examples. So we're already inheriting something that tells you that the value is in things that you touch and feel, but that thing who's walking, called human being, is an expense. So now this is improving. By the way, I no longer get impressed with what they call human capital, because human capital is as good as the culture which can translate this human capital into what we call psych capital. You could have the best people in the world on paper, and you have what you say big investment in human capital. However, you have a very bad culture that destroys the morale, curses him to the floor, and you have very small or low psych capital, which will translate to low performance. Have you heard the term psych capital? Okay. Psych capital is the new term, not human capital, psych capital, because you could have, again, you could have the best players in the world. You've seen soccer teams. They buy the best players, and they keep losing. Why? They have their own culture. They have their own team spirit. So the psych capital is the emphasis now. It's not the human capital. And the culture is important. So here, again, the mind, body, heart, heart, and soul. Let's talk about mind. Don't need to see the future. Need only to do what's told and follow the rules. You're killing the intellect of the individual. You're killing the creativity and the innovation of the whole organization. The heart. Workers cannot be trusted without the carrot and stick. Not much good will happen. Yes, in any organization, you have those who are after the carrot. And yes, in every organization, there are those who are, sometimes you need to use the stick. But believe me, these are not the ones who could help you transfer a company from good to great. The ones who do that are the ones who are here because of mission of life. By not catering on those and focusing on them, you are alienating them. You are losing on what we call the heart intelligence or the heart of the institution. ما نصر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بمن كان وراء الغنيمة أو ذاك الذي يخشى السيف. Prophet Muhammad did not get the victory by those who were after al-ghanima, the carrot, or those afraid of the sword or the stick. إنما نصر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بمن آمن بالرسالة. So in every organization, if you don't have enough of people who are here for the sake of the mission, of course, they need the carrot to feed their children, okay? But it's not the objective. The physical systems must be designed to get work done efficiently. Yes, systems are very important, but we become so fixated on system, policy, procedure. There's an article just in Harvard Review last 2 months ago, talk about that in many areas, you should not have policy and procedures. You should break it. And if you don't, you're not maximizing on the intelligence, but in certain areas. What I'm saying here is that if you put one system and apply it to all as machines, without taking into account those who you should have enough freedom and flexibility, you're not maximizing what we call the physical intelligence, because each one of us knows how he or she is able to maximize on his physical performance. By not allowing those people some flexibility, they're not going to be able to maximize on the physical intelligence. The spirit, the leader knows best and makes all the important decisions. You're killing the spirit of the individual, then you're killing the psyche of the whole organization. This is the whole person paradigm. And the idea is to use a person in a creative way, treat them kindly, pay them first, help them serve human needs in principal ways. In every organization, the more people you have and apply this to them, the most likely you'll have a good number who feel that they can learn, live, love, and they feel that they could leave their legacy in life through working in this organization. Once a person reaches that point, he or she, it will unleash a phenomenal potential. We believe the increased productivity, it's much higher than 50 times, probably 100, 200 times. And those are the ones who help organizations excel and become great. From day number one when we started with this vision. That vision is to pioneer a unique approach of healing the mind, body, and soul by applying the best global healthcare standards and pursuing divine ethics. رسالتنا هي صناعة نموذج فريد برعاية صحية ذات نظرة شمولية لشفاء الإنسان جسداً وعقلاً وروحاً باتباع أفضل المعايير الطبية العالمية للعلاج واقتفاء المعايير الربانية للمعاملة والأخلاق. 5 أهلة تجتمع لتكون ما يسمى الشجرة. 5 crystals. They join together to form a tree. We call that tree a blessed tree. We call ourselves farmers. Nobody here works for anybody. We all work for that tree. Now, this is very important. When you form an institution based on this concept that nobody works for anybody. By the way, this is the only private hospital in Saudi Arabia which is not a family business or one-man show. It's an institution. What's the idea? If everybody feels that nobody works for anybody, we all work for the tree. And the value of each individual depends on how much they give to that tree. It's a different story. In the Holy Book, talks about Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam. By the way, we studied Prophet Sulaiman, and we got more than 90 characteristics of the leadership of Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam. There was in the story of the hudhud, the what's hudhud in English? A bird called the. What kind of bird in English? Huh? Is it woodpecker? Yeah, woodpecker. Is it? Al hudhud. I don't think it's woodpecker. I remember that cartoon woodpecker when I was it. It's different. That one's the knock the wood. So the bird. And he looked, and Sayyidina Sulaiman, there's no leader on earth had the power as much as Sayyidina Sulaiman. يعني قال ربي ملك ما ينبغي لأحد في عصره. So he had the al-ins wal-jinn, powerful. So he stands there, and he finds a small hole of his army. He says, where is the bird? Okay, and he has this way, which is a system where he can know the absence without punch cards. Because we're so organized, if it opens a slit, he knows there's something missing there. Okay? So he found that the bird missing. So he said, just imagine this, Sulaiman, who almost all earth, jinn wal ins, he starts, what? Threatening. Where is the bird? If he does not give me, come immediately, I will I will slaughter him. I will torture him. Okay? Now, the bird comes. Now, did the Quran say the bird came shivering? Now, just imagine one of our kings or our rulers, and he threatened a person. How do you think the person would come to that? Shaking. But the Quran says what? فَلَبِثَ غَيْرَ بَعِيدٍ. The bird came, Sayyidina Sulaiman was sitting, and he was sitting in front of him, not too far from him. What did he say to him? I do apologize, but no. قال أحط بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ عظيم. Look at the power of the Hudud. Why is he so powerful? He is 100% confident Sulaiman cannot touch him. Why? Because he does not work for Sulaiman. He works for the mission that Sulaiman works for. وهي الدعوة الله سبحانه وتعالى. So he knows the mission, vision is clear. So he came with confidence. He knows Sulaiman will not touch him because Sulaiman could just do like this and he's gone. He can touch him, just point like this, he's gone. Right? And he is confident of his justice. But he knows that he does not work for Sulaiman. He works for the mission and vision. And he says, today, I know more than you, Sulaiman. So basically today, I'm in sight of God who evaluates both of us. Okay? I have brought something you don't know. أحط بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ عظيم. Basically, the one who's evaluating you and me today looks at me. I am today, at this moment, serving the mission and vision more than you. How could you touch me? That's the difference between working for somebody and working for the mission. And that's what we're trying to establish. And any organization, if you establish this, then you attract certain caliber of people. They're not coming for salary anymore. They're coming because they want to be part of a mission, something greater than themselves. And they feel that when they give that place, they're giving that tree. They're not working for a family or for individual. They're working for a mission of life. So back to basics. Avicenna wrote about holistic approach, mind, body, heart, and spirit. Avicenna wrote this book called The Law of Medicine when he was 16 years old. And that book of medicine remained as a major text of medicine in Europe for how many years? By the way, today, if you have somebody who published a book in medicine and stays for 1 decade, that would be considered quite an accomplishment. 1, 2, 3 decades, great. How many years do you think this book remained as text number 1 in Europe? 500 years, absolutely. And another 200 years as one of the top 3. So total 700 years. Thank you. And you must have studied Abyssinia because you're the first one in the last 5 years who answered it right. And this is no longer, it's not something old or new. It's a universal order. It's the right thing to do. And you see the 8th habit. How many of you have read this book, 8th habit? How about this? Oh, good. And 7 habits of highly effective people? Good. The 8th habit of mind, body, heart, and spirit. And it's amazing. We have done our mission, vision, and values, everything, before that book was published. When it came out and said, subhanAllah, it's a universal order. It's wisdom. So it talks about mind, body, heart, and spirit. And this is, problem is leadership. Is a leadership practice today the prevailing theme? Is it a choice or is it a position? Unfortunately, it's a position. And that's a problem. We have to redefine leadership. Otherwise, in our organizations, we're going to not develop the right leaders, and we're going to miss those leaders. And I believe there's only one kind of a leader, serving leader. And we have many examples, Sayyidina Muhammad and the companions, but this is the leadership. And that leader has to be 360-degree leader. Whenever I go to an organization or a company, I like to ask a question to the T-boy. We're trying to find a name for a T-boy, hospitality manager, and we're working on it. We're going to change the name. And I try to ask him, I say, how does he treat you, the CEO? Usually he say, yeah, good, good. I say, if he treats the board members here, what does he treat you? Now, then he has, and usually 2-3 times he says, and then he moves out. Now you know this leader is a fake. Because you are either genuinely kind, good person, or you're not. You can't have 2 faces. You can't have situational based on whether you become a minister, you become something, and then when you lose, you become somebody else. So this is, it had to be 360 degree. When you evaluate this leader, consistency tells you whether this leader is genuine or not. When I started, I used to talk about this, love leadership. Initially, before we made the money and reached a cash break even, some people used to smile and say, my God, this guy is really out of it. He's a dreamer. Wait until he gets to the real world. Wait until he crashes financially. But I believe this is the right leadership. This is the new way to lead in a fear-based world. ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. This is the leadership, because there's no other way to lead. You don't lead people by force. You might lead them, you might force them to follow you temporarily. But unless they see what you're doing deep inside, you can't. So the idea to create that love among your organization, people love each other, they start loving the mission and vision and love the leader. And there is no other choice. Today, I speak with confidence because anybody who believes only in numbers, I show him the numbers. And there is no contradiction. It's a complementary. You do everything that everybody does. Policy, procedures, everything. Best standards of care. Follow the best guidelines for financial utilization. But at the same time, you build that culture of love. People, sometimes in their mission, they have this perception that these don't fit. Who said so? Same thing in medicine. We learn the wrong way. To be a real good physician, you have to be professional. Professional means you have to be detached. You don't talk about the mind, body, and soul. When I studied medicine, George Washington, 1987, it was a taboo to talk to a patient about anything but his or her physical illness. If I talk about mind, heart, and body, mind, heart, or spirituality, I could be kicked out of medical school. By late 90s, I did a study, some studies with a man called Benson, Jewish, and he talks about how we can help patients heal from within. In his lectures, talk about what are the effects of tasbih in the Muslims on the relaxation response, heart rate and blood pressure and the EEG or the brain waves. Okay, so this is the right way, no other way. Anybody tells you that you could lead people by other than that, that person doesn't understand anything about human nature. Okay? Well, I guess even the projector loves this slide. Okay, so we start here with the 5 crescents, which shows the crescent because crescent has a very nice indication. المواقيت البداية والنهاية. It has a nice symbolic meaning in Islam. So those 5, mind, body, heart, and spirit, we put the mind on the top. Type. So people ask me, why the mind? Should be the spirit up. What do you think? Should be mind or the spirit? I have no doubt. It's the mind. Why is that? Yeah, but يقول لك كل كتاب عنوانه يبدأ من أوله. مظبوط ولا عنوان الكتاب من what's our we are put on earth and there is a catalog for us. Where's our catalog? Quran. Sorry, I apologize for using the catalog, but trying to illustrate it, simplify it. Now, usually, when you open the catalog, the first chapter or the first words, the things of importance. What are the first 5 verses of the Holy Book? Talks about what? Mind. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. Read. اقرأ باسم ربك. خلق الإنسان من علق. علق إعجاز علمي. اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. 7 words has to do with the reading, with the pen, with knowledge. Not a single word has to do with anything has to do with spirit. لا belief, ولا spirituality, ولا إيمان, nothing. What does it tell you? It tells you which one falls on the top. It's the mind. And they are throughout history, you've seen that many people, when they have a very good hearts, but they have the wrong understanding of things, that led them to a wrong path. And in the name of that love, they committed the worst crimes in humanity. We have so many examples. Anyway, so mind. What this has to do with anything we do, everything. Now, please, whatever your industry is, you can take this one and extrapolate it to your industry. This is universal wisdom. Mind. How do you respect the intellect of our patients? How do you make patients part of the treatment? How do you respect the intellects of our colleagues? How do you teach with kindness? how do you create a culture in which the voice is heard and the mind is respected? A whole concept based on respecting the mind. I'll just give you an example of our implementation. Now, each one of those, we can talk for hours. And inshallah, we're going to write our book in the next 2 years. You have the Toyota way, inshallah, you have the IMC way, inshallah. And that book will be written by people who have built this place with us. Each one will take a chapter. And we already have people working on stories, reason to believe that this is right. Now, principle-centered leadership. We insisted to have our executive board as a round table, although the room was designed for an oval table. Why? To emphasize that the true boss in any meeting is not the one who carries the highest title, but it is the idea which can get a moral support and a voting support in the round table. Now, this we call it a shura al-mulzima, obligatory shura. I personally think this is the only shura, although others might argue there are different kinds of shura. And I say this is the only way because of many stories that supports that. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ما استشار أصحابه في شيء إلا نزل إلى رأيهم. He never consulted his companions and did something else. And there's one example clear in the Quran, in Surah Ali Imran. A whole section of the big portion of that surah, from the verse وَإِذْ غَدَوْتَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ, for almost 10 pages, talks about the battle of Uhud. Okay? And in the battle of Uhud, it's clearly that the story says, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew that going out of Medina was wrong. Clear. He asked the companions. Many of them were young companions. They missed participation in Badr. So they wanted to make it up in Uhud. So they voted, we should get out. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went back. He put his shield. Now the older companions spoke to the younger one, say, I think you made a mistake. لعلكم أرغمتم رسول الله. So they went back to him. Said Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قالوا لعلنا أرغمناك. وقال القول الشهيرة. He said the famous statement that if a prophet puts his shield, he would never take it off. And he went. Now, why did he do that? Because he wants. See, he could have said, okay, you went back, fine, let's do another voting. But he wanted to teach us something. And God wants us through this story to learn something. That the most important thing is the process, not the result. What happened in the battle? They went out. It was a defeat for the Muslims, but a victory for the Islam as Sharia. And you know, many of the companions died. Prophet Muhammad fell in the hole. Only few companions stayed with him to protect him. What the Quran says? It says, إِذْ تُصْعِدُونَ وَلَا تَلْوُونَ عَلَى أَحَدٍ وَالرَّسُولُ يَدْعُوكُمْ فِي أُخْرَاكُمْ. Just imagine this. Companions running away. تُصْعِدُونَ وَلَا تَلْوُونَ عَلى أَحَدٍ. You don't look at anybody, you're running away. وَالرَّسُولُ يَدْعُوكُمْ فِي أُخْرَاكُمْ. The Prophet is calling you from behind. Just imagine this. It's painful, isn't it? Who are the companions who are running away? Are they the losers? حاشا لله, subhanallah. No. They are the companions. Some of them were our companions who were promised paradise. Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan. Okay? The other verse says, إن الذين تولوا منكم يوم التقى الجمعان إنما استزلهم الشيطان بعض ما كسبوا. Those of you who run away, the shaitan find a small window to enter into their hearts. That emphasizes to you, don't underestimate the small sins. It's not that God doesn't forgive. God does. But the problem is, if you do the small sins, you don't know when your big exam will happen. Because your big exam could be that 10 minutes after your small sin, and because that small window, the shaitan can go inside and put some doubts in you. Okay? That's the only fear. Otherwise, God forgives. حتى اللمم يعني. And then did the Quran, after that came, after all of this death of the companions, Sayyidina Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada, Mus'ab ibn Umayr, you cannot find even something to cover him. It's very painful. Sayyidina Muhammad, Kusirat Ruba'iyyah, broke his teeth. It's just very painful. What do you expect the Quran to come down? And then the Quran يعاتب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا رسول الله أنت النبي وأنت المشفع ما كان ينبغي لك إذا استشرتهم في أمر وتعلم أنه غير صواب أن تنصاع وتنقاد لرأيهم وتودي بالمسلمين الهلاك. You should have not listened to them. You knew that that decision is incorrect. By following them, you have caused all this death. Did the Quran say that? What did the Quran say? ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك فاعف عنهم واستغفر لهم وشاورهم في الأمر. If your heart ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. If you had very hard heart, they would run away from you. فاعف عنهم, forgive him. واستغفر لهم, pray for him. وشاورهم في الأمر. Continue to do whatever you've done. Consult them. Now, what's the gist of the story? The gist of the story is that God tells him, I care about the process, not about the result. And I made the result so bad that nobody comes later and says, but the result was good, no, it was bad. Or somebody says, but the leader didn't know. No, the leader knew. Just to emphasize, the process is where God have put his barakah. So, we try to follow that, which is the obligatory shura. The day that we do the voting and the CEO keeps overriding is the day the CEO thinks he doesn't have the right consultants. It's time to find different consultants. We focus on the patient and we go from there. This is another model that we took from Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From day number one, as a matter of fact, I did not have a contract with my partners up until last month. For 8 years, I had no contract. My contract was that. I told them, don't ask me how much I spend. I give you this model. That's my passion in life. This model we took from Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he lived how many years? He lived 63 years. Good. And during those 63 years, God knows that he has to do certain things, such as receive the last revelation on earth. Correct? How heavy is this? Heavy. Is there anything on earth that happened more heavy than this? Nothing. Right or not? And he has to train and educate and prepare the men and spread the message. Right? And he has to establish the state. Now, billahi alaykum, is there anything that happened on earth more valuable than these three things? None. From Adam until the end. Now, if you know that you have to do all of this, okay, and you only have 63, and you have Microsoft project, and you do the Microsoft, when do you start? When do you start? As day one, as soon as possible. Why did he start at age 40? You want to tell me? Only 23 years to do all of this. And 40 years, what was he doing? Doing one thing. يلقب الصادق الأمين. To be called trustworthy and صادق الأمين. That means the most important thing is to establish trust. So I told my investors, the number one, forget about money. My objective is to build that trust, whatever the cost is. But I promise you one thing. If we build the trust, you get more money. Why do I say that? Because I believe, like many, that when God created the universe, he set one universal order. That universal order is timeless and eternal. That universal order has certain underlying laws and principles, which are common to all divine religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Things like honesty, sincerity, humbleness, justice, fairness. I believe as much as we align our intentions and actions to these underlying laws and principles, there's a built-in reward system for us in this life and the life after. Simple as that. So I'm trying to prove it. And this is my mission of life. Not about the hospital, have a high quality of health care and financially sound. It's about proving that it pays really well applying these principles and values in life. And this is the highest form of worshipping of God. أسمى صور العبادة لله سبحانه وتعالى. This is it. They ask me, when you want to die, how you want to die? And unfortunately, you ask doctors, tell them, how would you like to die? The majority says, I want to die when I'm بأسجد. I tell them, no, I want to die writing prescription to a patient or doing something has to do with giving somebody. Why? هناك المصلحة الخاصة والمصلحة المتعدية. Personal benefit and يسموها ايش المتعدية اللي هي benefit extended benefit. Always in Islam, the extended benefit far exceeds and more important than the personal benefit. Unfortunately, our societies, we became so fixated on the personal benefit. You see doctors in Ramadan going i'tikaf for the whole month while patients suffering. Okay? So that's not your place. The most beautiful I heard from Sheikh Ali Abu al-Hasan قال العبادة الحقيقية هي سجود القلب والجوارح في بحراب الحياة. سجود القلب والجوارح في بحراب الحياة. It's the kneeling or the kneeling prostration of the heart and the extremities in the actual struggle of life. That's the true. Now, so each one of us should pray to Allah that he or she dies while they're doing something good to others with the right intention, rather than doing something which is personal. Okay? الصلاة والعبادة هي فقط لتهذبنا حتى نعمر الأرض. All these prayers and fasting helping us to be better individuals so we could build and give and support and help our fellows. Many times somebody going to the prayer fast and then he finds somebody on the street, a car broken, woman, children, and if you ask him which one, he said, no, I'm going to catch the prayer because to get 27 times jama'ah. But doesn't understand that the true reward is standing there and help that woman. How many times in Jum'ah prayer you find people sitting and having so much space and people outside in the sun. Tell them, please make a space for your brothers. They just move like one step. Say, maybe your reward today is nothing but to find a place for your fellow brother who's outside in the sun. It's not about listening to this khutbah. We do have inherently something wrong in our understanding of our religion. Anyway, I told them, this is my contract. I wrote my contract now when I reached cash break-even. After AIDS, after, alhamdulillah, although start from 1997. So the point is, alhamdulillah, we reach our cash break-even 2 years ahead of time. The point is for each one of us, on individual as organization, focus on this. This is our model, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Build your trust. Never compromise your integrity. Never compromise anything you could reverse. But once you lose trust, it's very difficult to build it again. Trust is like a glass. And you've seen many of the financial arena. Stock market has no value once you lose trust. Big companies, once you lose trust in them, their stock becomes less than the real value. And everybody knows, nevertheless, they can't, for some reason or another, pull it up to its real value because it lost its trust. Wonderful books, the trust, the one thing that changes everything. From day number one, we built in the education, family patient education center, and mind, and many examples. Here's an example you can apply to your industry. When we came in, we found that many patients don't have their right, their mind not respected. They go to our doctors, every doctor says consultant, but they have no idea what background. So we introduced this called Know Your Doctor in Arabic and English. Everything about the doctor, and it's spread everywhere in the outpatient, inpatient. So now patients go around and ask other hospitals, they go, doctors say, could you please give me your CV? And I had one incident in which the other doctor in another hospital got insulted. Say, what, you don't trust me? He says, yeah, I do trust you, but IMC is providing this. And that doctor became upset, went to the CEO. The CEO said, well, that's a good idea. Let's do it here. And he called me. He said, you caused me an embarrassment, but you know what? I'm very glad. Now we're going to do the same thing. The point is, you should be the change you want to see in the world around you. And that's the best way to change the whole world. They asked me in a conference I gave in Italy about equality. They say, how do you spread your vision and mission? They expected an answer like through the email, through the SMS, putting the vision and mission in the elevator, and workshops. I said, no, the most effective way to spread your vision is to be that vision. Be the walking, talking implementation of that vision. Because you as a CEO, they put you under the electron microscope. Any small deviation, even 1 degree on the top, by the time it comes down, it becomes 20, 30 degrees. And there's nothing more effective than you as a leader become the walking, talking reason to believe that this vision is alive and true. And we go to the malls to educate patients and so forth. That's a picture of one of the malls. Now the second question is body, no compromise in the quality of healthcare. And from day number 1, we said we answer to a higher authority. We designed this facility 4 years in the States. We got designers from the Islamic world, Dr. Sami Angawi, and people from the Boston. And we spent 4 years designing on paper. However, the actual construction of almost 1 million square foot, which should take almost 4 to 5 years, took us only 24 months. And that's, again, another concept, that plan really well, take your time, but when you execute fast. In our society is also something else. People like to plan quickly, and then in the execution, they have so many hurdles, and it postpones their achievement. From day number 1, we said we answer to higher authority. So we applied standards which are not obligated in Saudi Arabia. Why? Because we said we are not answering to anybody but God. As long as there's one criteria that will add safety to a patient, then we became obligated to fulfill it and pursue it and apply it and implement it. Otherwise, we have betrayed the trust of heaven. Example, fire protection. Example, it's earthquake protection. Costs us more money. And people at the beginning told me, why do you want to do that? It's not required by the defense الدفاع المدني, civil defense. And I said, you know what? It's true. At that time, it wasn't. But let's assume that in the future, we have an earthquake. They say, you might not have earthquake for 40 years. I say, fine. That's even better. If you have no earthquake for the next 40 years, and let's say after 40 years, you have an earthquake, I am in my grave, and one life is saved, that could be my ticket to paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I say always, He's the best trace methodologist. Those who in medicine, when they come to survey a facility, they do something called trace methodology. They take the patient, go back all the way from the beginning to find out who did what. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows exactly who thought to do that and implement it. So again, by applying these principles, and please extrapolate this into your industry, you are dealing now not with al-asbab, the causes, ولكن مع المسبب, the one who put the causes. And there's a big difference between the two. The difference is, if you deal with asbab, you go into a verse of the Holy Book called في سورة الإسراء كلا نمد هؤلاء وهؤلاء من عطاء ربك وما كان عطاء ربك محظورا. God says we give those and those, the believers and non-believers. Anybody who follows those causes, it will apply a sunnah al-kawniyah. The universal law will apply to them. So you and anybody else are equal. Depends on how much you work. Al-asbab. However, if you deal with al-musabbib, the one who created those al-asbab, you get out of this verse to another verse. يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. You enter something else. Because the first one, مهما كان عندك أسباب, سيأتيك من يقارعك بأسباب أقوى. Whatever you have causes, somebody else will be smarter than you. But the second one, دخلت different area now. It becomes more than asbab. However, you have to pursue the asbab, of course, as a form of worshipping. أسمى صور العباد الله سبحانه وتعالى هي الأخذ بهذه الأسباب. So we did that, alhamdulillah. I'm going to skip some of those. The third, which is the soul, how do you create a culture, an environment in which the healthcare providers are keen and attentive to fulfill the psychological, emotional, and spiritual needs of their patients. Okay? And this is a new concept, by the way, because we learn medicine different way. And this is some of the conferences. This is 1997, Spirituality and Healing. 1,000 clinicians were there, or healthcare providers. Unfortunately, Muslims did not have a strong presentation there, but all religions of the world talk about the power of healing, and I did my fellowship with this man called Benson, who I spoke to about. By the way, this Benson, I did a very nice interview with him in 1997. I remember there was in the newspaper, in New York Times front page, they had a study done on something called labyrinth. Labyrinth is in the old churches, they used to do circles, and people go around it counterclockwise. Okay, and they found that there's a physiological benefit: heart rate, blood pressure, EEG, quality relaxation response. And the article wrote all the studies which support that. So we did an interview with him in Aqra, and he kept saying that how important, and this is phenomenal, and going counterclockwise. And then suddenly I showed him Al-Kaaba, and people going around counterclockwise. He said, what's this? I said, that's what we do with Al-Kaaba, going 7 times counterclockwise. And I captured his impression, but unfortunately never showed on TV in Iqra. But the point is, we have many things that helps us heal, and it's built in within our religious rituals, our practices, and the way we do things. Now, even just an example, for example, you using the verse of the Holy Book. Will you not just come and say, Wallahi, this hadith is hello, and this is verse is nice. 9 months, a competition, 3 teams. 1 team, and each team has a scholar and about 4 to 6 doctors with him. 1 scholar, Sheikh Jamal al-Sirawan, Syrian, and he had a number of doctors with him. The second one, Sheikh Ali Abu al-Hassan, Mauritania, ومعاه a couple of doctors. And third one, Dr. Muhammad Sa'ad Tajuddin from Egypt, ومعاه a couple of doctors. What did they do? They walk around and they ask who will be standing here. And they ask, the doctors answer, most likely a patient, a visitor, visiting somebody in the inpatient, in the outpatient. And then they ask, okay, write down what would be the condition, psychological condition of this person entering the ICU, CCU. And they say what would be the condition, and they find what would be the best verse of the Holy Book and a hadith that will help that person heal. I go to some hospitals in this part of the world, and I find everywhere verses has to do with death. Haram alaykum. What you're going to be healed in a hospital, you put a verse that has to do with death. There's a story, Prophet ﷺ, he went to somebody who was sick. I don't remember the exact story, but he went to him and he said, طهور أو شيء زي كده. فالمريض قال له إنها الحمى والموت يا رسول الله. It's fever and death. The Prophet answered him, no, it's inshallah, it's ليه؟ لا بأس طهور, it will be inshallah healing. قال له, no يا رسول الله, إنها it's fever and death. So the third time, he told him, no. He said, no, it's fever and death. فقال الرسول فلتكن. And he stood, and the man died. Okay. ما زلت عند حسن ظن عبدي بي. For the point is, we practicing this religion, مرة أخرى, أسمى صور العبادة, the highest form of worshipping is applying these principles right in life. And the worst thing to apply these principles incorrect, even putting the verse of the Holy Book in the wrong place, haram. It's a crime. Somebody going to get cancer, and look that you're going to die. Is this right? Does Allah wants that? No, it doesn't. That's why when you go to our mosque, you find out. The verses, when you go in, has to do with dua. Sabr wa dua. But the verses, when you go out, all has to do with al-ijabah. Okay? So it's different. This, have you noticed this conference? There's a verse here, and there's a verse here when you enter the conference. What was the verse here? Anybody remember? Now we're going to see one of you would be good for intelligence. They ask this question, by the way, in test. Who read this verse here? طيب, هنا says سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم. We're going to show them the signs of God until they believe. طيب, what's the verse here? إنما يخشى الله من عباد العلماء. Those who are true scholars will fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. على قول الشعراوي, إذا أنت عالم تختشي. Right? Why is this is different than that? Who enters there? Who enters here? The one who enters there is the audience. It says that سنريهم آيات في الآفاق. You're going to see the signs of God. But the ones who enters here is the lecturer. If you're a true scholar, اختشي تواضع. Be humble. Okay? Because the true scholars should fear God. So it's a different message. But everywhere we have here in the hospital, 9 months choosing those verses of the Holy Book. Internal court, we insisted. The architects in Boston said, no way, it's going to bring you insects and so forth. But we challenged them. We brought Dr. Sami Angawi, who's never built a hospital. But that's exactly the beauty of it, a paradigm challenger, paradigm change. So they discovered that they were in a paradigm fix. And that's the most dangerous thing for us as humans. We always are in a paradigm fix. We don't realize it. So finally they did it. And the architect said they will never build a new hospital except for one with internal court, because it has the value. This is, by the way, Jerusalem stone, limestone, and all natural material. Again, when you think of the concept of human first, mind, body, heart, and spirit, you will never go wrong. Please, in your industry, think now where every time you ask a question, ask, what is best for that most sacred thing on earth, which is the human being? And put yourself in the shoes of that person. Believe me, you will have a wisdom to do the right decision ahead of everybody. An example. 1997, we were designing. I was just fellow. The architect said that you have to build rooms with 2 beds. Wards, they call them, or 3 beds. We said, no, it doesn't make sense. 1 bed per room. They said, are you stupid? This is the way we do it all worldwide. I said, no, it doesn't make sense to me. And you know what? It will change. Wallahi, I still remember the architect saying, my God, you guys are so naive and arrogant. I said, no, we're not arrogant. We are thinking like the human being. What is the right thing for a human being? Do you think it's right for 2 patients to be in 1 room? In 1997, we told them, doesn't make sense to us. That means it will change. Why? How could you have 2 patients in 1 room? One of them developed an infection. By the time you discover it, you put the other person at risk. One of them can't sleep overnight. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Why the other one has to suffer? One of them is deteriorating. The other one is improving. Each one will affect the other one negatively. Where is the privacy? Where is the hospitality? The word hospitality is driven from the word hospital, applied to 5-star hotels, and then hospitals became devoid of hospitality. We told them we would like to bring hospitality back to where it was originated. They say you're going to make a mistake, you're going to regret that. 10 years later, 2007, 2008 actually, the new law in the States. No hospital is allowed to be built except for 1 bed per room based on the infection rates. And they saw the benefits, financial gain and benefits of having 1 bed per room in reducing infections. And every hospital in the States have a grace period of 5 years to convert from 2 beds to 1 bed. We were 10 years ahead of our time. Is it because we were smart? No. Simple. Basically, wisdom age. Think of the human being and put yourself there and ask, if I were there, what would be the right thing? Wallahi, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. Put yourself there, think, believe me, you're going to do the right decision. And that decision you do, it has built-in reward system in this life. God built it this way. Some pictures of the design of the hospital. This is the labyrinth we talked about. We have even did it here for people to walk. Global standards. From day number 1, we insisted to follow the best standards. We signed with the Joint Commission 2000. These are the ones who give standards. We don't have many standards. Unfortunately, نحن أمة محمد. We are the Ummah of Muhammad, 1.2 billion. Well, how many were? No, 1.2 billion? Okay, 1.2 billion. You have American standards of healthcare, Canadian standards, Australian standards. What's the population of Australia? How many? 15 million. What's the population of Saudi Arabia? 24 million. What's the population of the Muslim Ummah? 1.2 billion. You have Australian standards, and hospitals run to get their accreditation. وَنَحْنُ أُمَّةُ مُحَمَّد. We don't even have Islamic standard of healthcare. إيش الأمة الخايبة دي. Now, our mission in life, inshallah, to be able to add something to humanity by establishing new standards. But first, we should apply the best standards available. So we found this Joint Commission. When I signed with them, they made fun of me, other private hospitals. They say, my God, you're wasting your money. My father called me, said, my son, they say that you're throwing your money. I said the only reason I signed with those, because these are the standards available. I want to be able to follow the best standards, because this is one of the highest form of worship of God, is to make sure that we follow the standards that will add safety to the patient. So we signed. What happened? A few years later, the quality became an issue in Saudi Arabia. They formed association called the MRQP, Mecca Region Quality Program. Guess which standards they took? The Joint Commission. The same people who attacked us were running now to get the accreditation. Now, but do you think this is the same? God knows who pursue it, because he or she believe this is worshipping form, and those who do it because they have no choice, they want the accreditation for insurance purposes, for better financial reward. And this, therefore, again, the universal order applied. You do right. IMC had passed the Joint Commission in it's our second year of operation with a score of 98.2%, the highest in the history of the Middle East, the highest of the JCI history Middle East, the score in a tertiary center. Alhamdulillah. And not only that, alhamdulillah, right now I was invited, I'm going next week to Frankfurt. IMC was selected from all the hospitals in the Middle East to sit on the panel which is going to discuss the new standards, the 4th edition, and make the changes, and that covers Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. The team which came from the States noticed something interesting. They say, we've seen many institutions very strong and they have strong policy procedures, but there's something interesting here. People are happy. Your staff, your people are happy. And I say we're happy because, alhamdulillah, I believe the compass is clear, alhamdulillah. North and west, north and south is clear. When you have your direction clear, you feel good about yourself. And you even enjoy making fun of your mistakes, truly. When you know you're north and south, and you are متصالح مع نفسك, you are in peace with yourself, you really enjoy finding the mistakes and make fun of the mistakes. It becomes different culture. It becomes relaxed culture, in a sense that people, when they make mistakes, each one doesn't blame the other. They look at the mirror and say, what I have done wrong. But when things go well, they don't look in the mirror. They look in the window to find out what were the external forces that help us succeed, or who are these people outside who help us succeed. That's a big difference. And that's the difference between level 4 and level 5 leadership. Have you spoken about there's a nice article called Leadership Level 5. Those level 5 are very small number of leaders. By the way, neither Ayakoka nor Jack Welch are level 5. They're level 4. And they will never be level 5. Level 5 is different brand, and there's a nice article talk about certain leaders who are able to make companies from nothing up. And they have the same characteristics, all of them. We call it the paradox character. They have two things. They're so humble, down to earth, they will never say, we've done it. They say external forces, people who helped us do it. At the same time, they have an iron will inside. Never be defeated. And that paradox character is the character of type 5. There's an article called The Type 5 Leadership. It's wonderful. I'll get a copy. Adil, you have a copy? Please give it to them. It's one of the best articles I've read, because I've seen in the article the Islamic model, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there's examples of CEOs in the States and Europe who have this leadership. You never hear about these people, by the way, because they're not the flashy like Ayakoka or Jack Welch writes book. They're not the ones. In many of them, the interviews, they ask them, how do you feel about accompanying so and so and so and so? They say, I've never thought about it. Or they say, it was just a luck. Or they say, the answers are consistent, and they mean it. These people never look in the mirror. If there's a mistake, they look in the mirror. If there's something wonderful, they look at the window and say, how we were helped in our journey. Who helped us? Okay, alhamdulillah, we have many partnerships. Again, the same concept applies. If you do it well, you find that many partnerships coming one after another. And beyond your imagination, we are only 3 years old. Alhamdulillah, right now we have 2 new partnerships. One of them, University of California, San Diego, to build a medical school. It will be, inshallah, the first sister campus of University of California. We have 5 campuses in the California. University of California, San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, You're going to have, inshallah, UCJ, University of California, Jeddah, Bismillah. And it's going to be sister campus where our students will rotate in their campuses and theirs will rotate here at IMC, inshallah. Medical school, Bismillah. I will talk about medical school next. Why is it so important? Now, I must talk about, since we're talking about leadership, I will talk about leaders which helped us see what leadership is all about. That's one of them. His name is Dr. Loop. Loop is one of the cardiothoracic surgeons worldwide. He has patents after his name. He was the CEO and chairman of the Cleveland Clinic. More than 20 years ago, bless you, more than 20 years ago, Cleveland Clinic suffered from having not as good CEOs. So they kept firing one after the other. Now, this man comes, who was the chairman of cardiothoracic surgery. He gave a proposal. The board of trustees insisted that he should be the one who will be the CEO. He took the role and over 15 years transformed Cleveland Clinic to what it is today. From 3,000 staff members to 37,000, from a couple of $100 million profit to 3.8 billion, and it became the institution #1 in cardiac and one of the best in the world. But his leadership style is the leadership I believe in, which is a family, build a family. Now, before September 11, I went to negotiate with 3 entities, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and Cleveland Clinic Foundation. Harvard and Johns Hopkins had different idea. They wanted affiliation. Give you the name, give us money. I said, no, I want partnership. Otherwise, I don't want you. The only one who paid attention is this man. I went to him before September 11. He heard the mission, vision. Something triggered his mind. He gave me his card. I still remember he gave me the card. And then in the back, he goes, son, I put the mission and vision in the back. What do you think? I'm just going to ask him for partnership. So anyway, I told this is a good idea and so forth. He put his home phone number, said, I said first, what you Harvard boy going to do here? He said, if you decide to come our way, call me at home. September 11 came, I said to myself, أحفظ ما وجهي, there is no need to call to anybody. Okay, save my face. There's no need for me to call anybody. Who would be interested to go partnership after September 11 with anything has to do with Saudi Arabia? Those who had partnership for more than 20 years, they want to sever it and stop it. I received a call from this man, says, when are you coming? So we can continue negotiation. I said, Wallah, subhanallah. I said, okay. I went to him, myself with my team, doctors and administrators, who are only 3 of us. And God decided, alhamdulillah, that our lawyer should not make it. So his flight was canceled. So we ended up going without a lawyer. Now, I said, this is God's plan. So when I went in, they told me, what are you going to discuss? We're about to discuss the MOU and with the lawyer. What are you going to do? I said, well, you know what? I don't have much to show this guy except for the truth. And sometimes when you have nothing, truth is the most effective way to reach the heart. So we went. He was sitting on the head of the table. On his right hand is David Rowan, who's the counselor or the head of the legal department, which is the big department. I was sitting on his left hand. And I said, Dr. Loop, I have no money, I have no investors, I have no partners, I have no hospital, I have no building, I don't even have a land. All I have is just schematic designs on papers. What did he say? What do you think he would say? He said, no, you have the right mission and vision, and you have passion and integrity. And people like you usually make it, I will succeed, and I want to be there. What do you want? So the lawyer jumped and said something in his ear, whispered. I am pretty sure he told him, I don't think this is the right time to even think about doing anything with Saudi Arabia. So he paused for almost 3 minutes. And I was praying to God. At that moment, I wasn't sure. Should I go back to the States, or come back to Saudi Arabia? I was quite ambivalent. And I said, God, if this is a project that you want me to proceed with, show me your sign. And I was genuine because to me, if I did not get the partnership signed, I would have difficult time to raise funds. So he turned to me and said, son, he turned to the lawyer, said, could you kindly excuse us? Get out. So the lawyer left. He turns his chair to me, said, son, countries came to me before you. From Saudi Arabia to Emirates to Kuwait to so over 15 years. And I rejected all of them. For some reason, I feel it's difficult for me to reject you today. And I don't know why. What do you want? I got the MOU. I said, Dr. Loop, if you can just review this, I'm going next week to Saudi Arabia. And I want you to become my partner. Because without you becoming my partner, I will have difficulty raising funds in Saudi Arabia. And please, don't ask me why. There's no need to tell him we have what we call inferiority complex or عقدة الخواجة. And without having somebody يعني أمريكي يديك الطابع حقك, you have no value. So he took the memorandum, he looked at it, he looked at the papers, he got his pen, he put his initial sign, he said, go get your investors, I am your first investor. It's my honor and privilege to support somebody like you. Done. 6 months later, he is invited for Dubai Healthcare City, a whole city. They say, we would like to become a partner. Dr. Loop told me that. He told them he's not interested. And Mohammed bin Rashid told him, what do you mean not interested? You go partnership with a small hospital in Saudi Arabia, and you don't want to take Dubai Healthcare City? He said, yes, because that person in Saudi Arabia is in the business of healing. But you are in the business of a real estate. I am not interested. And he left. But these are the leaders who build. It's not about building buildings or stone. يا بناء البشر. And to me, he's my mentor. Because I tell Dr. Loop, what you've done that day is not about a partnership for a hospital called IMC. It's about putting a confidence in somebody who is a new leader that the way of life he dreams of, it does exist. And there are leaders in this world who follow this paradigm. And that was the true investment. It's not about how much money you put in IMC. It's not about the equity. It's about how much you invested in the small leader and put the plan for believing that, yes, this kind of thinking is correct, is not out of this world. And we received the award for the best investment in healthcare, the best investment in healthcare from SAGIA. And divine ethics, and this is the foundation of the tree. And just examples of that. There's so many examples, to be honest with you, but I'm going to show one example, which is not the typical example. When we say divine ethics, you talk about you might go somewhere. So I want you to bring it to another example. How kind and how conscientious to the environment around you. That's a divine ethics. We were taught as Muslims, المسلم إذا توضأ من نهر جار فلا يسرف. If you do ablution from a running river, you do not waste water. How could you waste water? Could you waste water from a running river? Absolutely not. But what Islam is teaching us is to be conscientious to the natural resources. And again, telling us it's not about what you see. It's about the reward you get from following the right process. Be conscientious to the environment. That's a form of worshipping of God. So we did the whole water treatment plant. We are the first institution in Saudi Arabia, and I have verified this with Adil Bushnag, who is the waterman, and I have a letter. We are the first institution in Saudi Arabia implementing a full water treatment, reverse osmosis. You save 30 to 40% of your water consumption, which is the gray water. No sewage comes out from IMC, only clear water. 1997. The first. Now, alhamdulillah, في other projects, not so many, are doing the full water treatment. It's reverse osmosis. What happens is, every year they come and they remove the small filaments, but no sewage. Only clear water comes from IMC. Now, this water, we do not ingest it, although we can. And the CEO of the Canadian company showed me in front of me that this is the water. He puts it and he drinks it. It's actually very clean water. But now we use it for irrigation. Now, again, the reward came immediately. We found this deserted garden next to us. Unfortunately, you know how many gardens we have in Jeddah? We're supposed to have in Jeddah. Or lands supposed to be named gardens, but they're not gardens. How many? I was shocked with the number, more than 200. But unfortunately, in the past, okay, for reasons that you all know, gardens, they put it in munaqasa and bidding, and people take it, and they took permission to build a small shop, كشك. وبقدرة قادر يصبح الكشك 2 و2 3 و3 4 ويصير المكان كله زبالة. It becomes a garbage and becomes a place to generate money for this person who was able to build it. As a matter of fact, when you go back to the last 30 years, you find only there are five entities are taking these gardens and change it into business. Okay, but we thought of the following: why don't we give a new model of developing gardens to our mayor, and the mayor will take it as an example. In this model, there is no financial reward to the institution. The institution takes the garden, develop it, irrigate it. The irrigation costs almost $500,000 a year. For us, the reward came. It cost us zero because our water treated will irrigate. So we put $4 million and we developed the garden and we connected to our water supply, which is the water treated at IMC. Cost us zero for irrigation, $4 million for development. And we provide a new model of developing gardens in Jeddah. We gave that model to the mayor of Jeddah, and he applied this. And the new model is that institutions who would like to take a garden and give it as a gift, Medina Jeddah, they develop it, they irrigate it, and all we get is our name and the municipality names combined. This is a gift to the people of Jeddah, and we are responsible to take care of it. Please come in the morning and see how clean this garden. And if you see something, even a paper in the garden, come and call me. It's open, of course. It's a gift to the people of Jeddah. It closes at midnight. And please come at night, see people jogging around it. Okay? And however, it took us so much time to make people disciplined, not to bring food in and make it as, again, like mazbala. But please make a point. If you can come in during the day or even at night, today when you leave, go. You might find people jogging. See how clean it is. And that's our contribution to our societies. To me, this is very significant. Because in the day of judgment, we may come and find so much in our scale because we have introduced a new model. Haqiqa, in my humble opinion, the most valuable things we do on earth are the things we don't feel and we don't see it in our life. يعني الأعمال التي لا نراها في حياتنا. What do I mean by that? Because whenever you remember that you've done something good, you became a victim of حظ النفس. You might feel that, oh my God, I did something good, and that will wipe out your reward. But if you do something and had the consequences, which is good, but you don't see the results of that, these are the kind of things that I believe will help you the most. Things like that, if you start a new way of life, and that causes changes, you might come in the day of judgment and find, subhanAllah, there's so much rewards, we didn't even think of it. Again, this is why I chose this as a divine ethics. Because the first thing people comes to mind is something else when I talk divine ethics. But I give the exam to show that this is an example of the divine ethics. Now, this is the most important slide. And this you could apply to your life and to your organization. Every organization and every individual, the true power comes from inside. And see, by the way, the most dangerous thing is all cartoons. They emphasize on the external power, not internal power. And I truly imagine that there should be have contribution to society. The cartoons, look at it, or even the new movies, Matrix and the Superman and the Batman. And it's all about what? Power and fighting. However, the true power is from within. I really wish one day they bring something called a new character called Abid. And this Abid, his power is from within, rather from outside. Every individual and every organization, its true power is actually power within. This power is not things you see. It's not the budget. It's not the financial statement. It's not the investors. It's something else. I'm going to share with you what I believe the true power. Now, have any one of you been on one of those? Okay, I wasn't one of those, but I drove by one of those in New Jersey. in the mid 80s, and they are phenomenal. I mean, they are much bigger than this picture could reveal. Call them moving cities. For this to be moving right and left, how big do you think the thing that makes it move right and left? How big? Huge. How huge? How huge? How big? Building and go. How big? Give example. How big? How big? 30 meters. Anybody more? Less? Less? Some of you know the answer. To be honest with you, it's surprising. The thing that moves these huge things called the trim tab. Small rudder that turns a big rudder that turns the ship, and that small rudder is no more than 1 to 2 meters. That's it. Believe it or not. I call this one the power of intention. That small thing, the trim tab, is the power of intention. سيدنا عمر الخطاب ما روى عن رسول الله إلا أحاديث قليلة. سيدنا عمر he narrated سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم only few حديث. ولكن الفاروق يعلم أي الأحاديث يروي عن رسول الله. فروى حديث اللي هو إيش؟ إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. The hadith says that the niyyah is the most. I will talk to the hadith. Sorry, الحديث اللي هي إنما الأعمال بالنيات. The deeds but by the intentions. ولكل امرئ ما نوى. It depends on your intention. And that's hadith. معظم الصحاح, most of the hadith books start with this hadith. This is a universal order. It's not a Muslim concept. You find it in Christianity, in Judaism, and Islam. Why? Because it's a universal order. It's timeless, eternal. The second inner power, he called the power of giving. How giving back enriches us all. Since when did we start hearing about corporate social responsibility? Very recent, in the last 1 decade. Where was it 20, 30 years ago? We discovered that, with numbers, that the more we give, the more we take. Now, why do you think Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and many other institutions in the States gives billions of dollars every year? Why do you think they do that? For taxes? No, it's not for taxes. Go back and look at the numbers. It's not taxes. Is it because they love their society very much? It could be. But I assure you one thing. All of them have seen the financial reward at the end of the year. The more you give your society, the more society will give you back. They have discovered the universal order. Good. God wants them to discover this universal order because God wants more good on earth. What's painful is many companies in this part of the world, طبقوا الشريعة الإسلامية, they have not yet discovered this universal order. They think by keeping in, they make more money. Wrong. By giving your society more, you are going to make more financial gains. That's concept number 2. And alhamdulillah, today you've seen Abdul Latif Jamil, you've seen Savola, and these are 2 good examples of companies have discovered universal order. Give society, it will give you back. The power of ethical management. Integrity pays. You don't have to cheat to win. Winners never cheat. A self-made billionaire speaks out of honesty and generosity. When I started, many of the businessmen, the veterans, they took me aside, say, son, you have to, يعني لازم تبطل. I'm saying it Arabic first. لازم تبطل المثاليات حقتك ولازم تعرف كيف تعيش وإلا أنت هتدعس بالرجول. You have to know how to play the game. You have to be smart. And this idealism of yours is not going to make it. And rule number 1, I know you're going to videotape everything here. Rule number 1, they told me that nothing works in this part of the world without knowing how to manage it, manage your way out. What manage way out? يعني معناها لازم تكون شاطر. والشاطر في اللغة العربية الفصحى من هو؟ من هو الشاطر في اللغة العربية الفصحى؟ الشاطر هو السارق. والشطار هم السراق. تكون شاطر. لازم تعرف من أين تؤكل الكتف. You have to know how to play the game, to work under the table. Otherwise, your idealism will get you nowhere. Haven't you heard that before? Is it the most destructive concept ever? And this is the prevailing destructive concept worldwide, including this part of the world. And they name things by different names. Bribes, they call it government relations section. So every company have a small percentage, they call it the government relations. Bribes. But they put it, and they have fatwa. ما بتأخذ حق غيرك. You're not taking the, you're not taking the right of others. So they have the fatwa, and they have different tope, they have different dress for it. So the conscience is clear. They go and pray, and then they go and they have the bribes, and they say it's okay. How could you change your society? If everybody, every owner decides to put a percentage of the profit as a government relation, how about the poor people who cannot pay the bribes? How they're going to manage? Are they going to manage? And you're going to destroy souls. So what I've done from day number one, I said, IMC will never pay a single real as bribe. They laughed at me and say, my God, show us what you're going to do. What we've done is the following. If you find somebody corrupted, we don't pay them. Sometimes they want peanuts. I go myself to Riyadh. I stay in the Kingdom of Four Seasons Hotel. I stay for 1, 2, 3 days until I meet the minister and solve it. And I've done it at least twice. And in case we find somebody who's honest and sincere, we ask about this person. We verify this person is clean. We send a very nice letter to the minister and a copy to the employee that says, I lived 20 years in the States, and unfortunately I came back and I saw many people who do not represent you, minister, do not represent me, do not represent our leaders, and above all, do not represent our religion. However, I found people who are good representation, in our opinion, humble opinion, of you, us, and the leadership. And I believe this person, his name, so and so, is a good example. Thank you for putting this person in that position. We've done it at least 3 times. And 2 of those got promoted based on that letter. I invited the businessmen here. I said, please join with me. I know many of you have already established business, and you know how to get your way around, and you have this government relations section, and everything goes smooth for you. But please, if you don't fight it, it will never change. Corruption is like cancer. Unless all of us decide to get this cancer, it will never be getting out of this society. And that's the reward. In our first and second year of operation, we were invited to speak in Jeddah Economic Forum. Billahi alaykum. We're a young institution. How much we give our societies compared to, mashallah, tabarakallah, Abdul Latif Jamil, or to Savola, or those giants who make a lot of money? How much we gave financially? Not much. But our theme is different, which is a theme that they believe in, both of those companies, but they have also the money to support it. Our theme is that the highest form of worshiping God is by applying the best, the highest standards every day of operation. Because the damage any institution or organization will inflict on a society by not abiding with these standards far exceeds the benefits any society will gain by dedicating whatever amount of money at the end of the year as a charity or as social programs. That's the theory. I truly believe if every company follows the high standards of ethics and values, societies will flourish, will prosper. We are living in a world of abundance, but because we are corrupted, it looks like there's scarcity. There is no scarcity. God put us on earth, and He had put for us enough for all of us, sustenance and abundance, not only sustenance, but because of our greed and corruption, that's why you have this distribution of wealth is wrong, and you have people who cannot survive. And by the way, I was very bold in the Economic Forum. I said that exactly what I told you today. I was advised by many people that I have to be pragmatic and I have to be realistic, and I have to pay bribes. And I told them, Wallahi, I did not pay a single riyal as rashwa. And suddenly people stood and started clapping. Did not realize many of them had tried hard. But at one point, they gave up because of the heat and the ability, their مصالحهم تعطلت. May Allah help us continue this route, because believe me, it is not easy. And sometimes it hurts you so much, and all it needs about 500 riyal, and it's done. But by saying no, it will delay you for 1 and 2 and 3, and you have millions at jeopardy. And many people tell you, for God's sake, just pay it. So it's very tempting. Fatwa جاهزة, okay. We need to change our societies now. But however, if you follow those examples, it's like a domino effect. You find everything goes in place. And you have, how many of you have read this book called Tipping Point? It's a great book called Tipping Point, and there's another book after that called Outliers, and there's another book called What the Duck Saw, the new one. Duck Saw, it's a wonderful book called What the Duck Saw. I have a copy if you want to. Now, this one here talks about how little things make a big difference. It talks about how do you start a social epidemic. You see how the virus is spread? Small and spreads. How about if you have the ability to cause what we call social epidemic? And talks about how could you start social epidemic? With the right idea, with the people who are infectious. There are certain people, I do hope, pray Allah, that a couple of you here are infectious type, who can take this, what you heard today, and spread it in your organizations. Because I'm looking for those infectious people, okay? And spread that concept, inshallah. For the first time in the history of Saudi Arabia, the king and the crown prince come to open a medical facility, a private sector. Now, you tell me, is there any money in the world that could pay him to come? Why would he come? Simple. Power of intention, right vision and mission, and you know God wants it to happen. So he comes, he even took our mission and vision on his heart, and he says, this is I protect. His eyes broke into tears when he heard the mission and vision. And even when I stood, he was actually sitting here, this place or this place here. I was standing next, in front of him, and I was supposed to read from papers. Then I felt his fatherly and emotion. I put it in my pocket and said, now it's time for me to speak from my heart. It was very dangerous because it's not the place when the TV here and it's alive and everybody. And I told him, I'm going to say it in Arabic, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إذا رضي عن رسالة لم يتركها وحيدا وإنما بعث لها رسالات والله سبحانه وتعالى بعث لنا اليوم ب3 رسالات. أولها أن الله سبحانه وتعالى شرح صدركما وأتى بكما إن ربي لطيف لما يشاء. ثانيهما أن اليوم هو يوم الأحد، وقيل أن الأحد في بعض الصحاح أنه بداية الخلق، نسأل الله أن يكون هذا خلق جديد. ثالثهما أن استيقظت اليوم على صوت رعد وبرق. ذاك اليوم كان that day which we have so much rain, but alhamdulillah no flood. It was a lot of rain, but no flood. And that was a rain after almost 7 years of no rain. That was in 2006, was it? Six, yeah. Third one, I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أن الله سبحانه وتعالى كما جعل هذا الأرض، هذا المكان هو مهبط الوحي والمكان الذي تهوي إليه القلوب من مشارق الأرض ومغاربها، نسأله سبحانه أن يجعلها المكان الذي تقصده العقول من مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. He broke into tears. I did not realize at that time we were thinking about King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. So we're thinking about how we can make this place, again, people come from all around the world with their minds. So the point is, again, there is a secret. The power from within has nothing to do with the money, the budget. These things are important. Money, budget, policy, procedures. But these are not the true engine. The true engine is something else. The power of intention, the mission and vision, and these are the things that make a difference. King Abdullah University Science Technology, we're bidding against major hospitals who's been here for a long time, 30 years. When we were bidding, they told us, my God, you're so naive. Do you think you're going to win this contract? Alhamdulillah, we run. Aramco was the one who's evaluating. We got, alhamdulillah, the highest score. The person responsible of signing, because I think it was the dean, he said, this is too good to be true. Don't sign. He came himself, he and 2 aides. He walked through the hospital alone. For a couple of hours, he picked up the phone and said, go ahead and sign with them. There's no comparison between these people and the others we saw. Alhamdulillah, we finished, we commissioned the, this is basically, we were responsible for the health care and the clinic that takes care of all the staff, the researchers, the students at the King Abdullah University Science and Technology. Sajia did a study, independent study, about the patient satisfaction, alhamdulillah, compared to all other hospitals, government as well as private sector. As a matter of fact, number 1 was King Faisal in Riyadh, number 2 was International Medical Center. Okay. And the difference was only a few points. And even the study says, not a fair comparison between the two, but at any point, we got a satisfaction of 120, which is a very complex index, talks about different items, and they come together to form what we call the patient satisfaction. In numbers, alhamdulillah, everything going up. Again, it's like domino effect. Everything is going up, doubling, and 50%, 40%. And alhamdulillah, we were able to reach our cash break even 1 year ahead of plan, almost 2 years ahead of plan, alhamdulillah. We received the award of the best investment, best healthcare hospital in the Middle East from Arabian Business. And tomorrow we're going to Riyadh. We're hoping they're going to give us an award, inshallah, hoping, as one of the fastest growing companies in Saudi Arabia. But we don't have 5 years, so I don't know whatever God decides. Another benefits of having the vision and mission. Dr. Loop, after 15 years serving at Cleveland Clinic, after he finished his legacy, he found it's time for him to retire, so he brought somebody else. Now he's joining us as a full-time permanent board member at the International Medical Center. And how much money is he being paid to come? How do you think? 0. He doesn't need the money. He's a wealthy man. But to him, that I did Cleveland Clinic, that was my first legacy in life. I was able to discover a leader and find you guys from scratch. This is my baby. I would like to help you develop a second legacy of my life with you. And that's why he's here. You can't buy these things in life. And that's why this is the power from within. So you have to search as an individual, as a company, if you have your own company, what are the things that makes you different? What is the true engine inside and the power from within? And this IMC today, this is IMC here, and this inshallah our expansion with our medical school, our medical conference, and our tower expansion. And we have done already a project. We're about to finalize long-term facility project, satellite clinics in Jeddah with a partnership with hopefully Boston University. This is the hospitality complex. This is the hospital, the garden, and this is a hotel and clinics and so forth, connected to the garden and connected to the hospital. This is the medical school, which is inshallah going to be our next project. And why medical school and what's our vision? Last thing, can I have 5 minutes? Well, khalas. Are you okay with 5 minutes? Well, it's time to go. So believe me, my wife is going to give me more hard time than you. Yeah, but anyway, I'm traveling tomorrow. This is the vision. We have crisis in healthcare. I believe we have crisis because the criteria for selecting those doctors are not right. Ask for most medical schools, tell them what you're doing. They describe what they're doing in terms of the curriculum. Rarely you hear anybody talks about the product. Describe to me the product. توصيف ذلك الإنسان الذي يكون أهلا أن يجرى الشفاء على يده. الصدق والأمانة والإخلاص. Describe him to me. If you don't have a clear description of that product, how could you put the criteria for selection? What are the criteria for selection of doctors? Very smart, high scores, and have money to pay to go to medical school. Correct or not? Where's the other criteria? Because not everybody is capable to become a healer. You could be a fixer. You could see the best surgeon in the world, they can fix. But in the process of fixing, they could inflict the most significant emotional, psychological, and spiritual trauma to the patient and the family. So not everybody could be a healer. For a person to be a healer, he or she has to have high emotional intelligence, which is developed early in life. They should be receiving enough that they could give. I'm not saying those who don't receive enough cannot give. As a matter of fact, some of them have paradox. Because they were deprived, they want to compensate by giving. But the point is, if you don't have a clear description of the product, then you don't have a criteria to select students, and you won't have the criteria to select the professors who could help you achieve that product. For example, if one of the major criteria, which I believe it is, one of the major factors or criteria, characteristics of a healer is to be humble, down to earth. How could you produce a humble, down to earth healer or physician if the teacher or the professor is arrogant? Or how could you produce somebody, طبيب وقف لمجتمعه, okay, if the professor is materialistic? From day number 1 medical school at George Washington, we could identify at least 5 students who do not belong to medicine. From day number 1, they want to have their Porsche, be plastic surgeons, and get as much money as they can so they can enjoy life. They don't belong to medicine. From day number 1, their objective is clear financial. However, they made it through the system because the system doesn't evaluate those. Our, inshallah, mission and vision is the following: to do non-for-profit medical school. وتفعيل مفهوم الوقف, because الوقف الحقيقي هو الوقف في البشر لا الحجر. In our ummah, when you talk about trust or waqf, always talk about buildings. But waqf in people, walk and talk in waqf, that concept is not clear to us. So if you did build non-for-profit medical school, and then we select for those, we look for those healers, those who might not have the means to become in medical school. We choose them from any part of the Islamic world. We choose that students say, you do have it. You develop them, you cover their tuition. Now, once you build this person, at the end, he doesn't feel like he is entitled to take advantage of the society, like what happens now. To be a medical student, you have to fight, get loans from the bank, right? And pay your way to medical school. Then after you finish, you feel, I'm entitled now to have the society pay me back. But what if you have somebody who had nothing except for his will to become a healer, but you bring him, cover his tuition, take care of him, and bring from him a healer? What do you think the chance that this person will give his society without thinking that he is entitled to rip off his society? Is higher chance. That's the concept. Build the non-profit medical school, and we found our partner, and in University of California, San Diego, they had the same concept, and I'm hoping, inshallah, we'll be able to produce that kind of healers, inshallah. We finished presentation. This is the logo of the IMC, which is the tree. This has come from the verse of the Holy Book. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ ضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا كَلِمَةً طَيِّبَةً كَشَجَرَةٍ طَيِّبَةٍ أَصْلُهَا ثَابِتٌ وَفَرْعُهَا فِي السَّمَاءِ. God gave an example of a blessed tree. We call it a blessed tree. We call ourselves farmers. And do you know what this is named? This is called Al-Mishkah. It's mentioned in the Holy Book. Which verse? الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في زجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية. God describes here certain tree, olive tree. Why olive tree? Why not tomato tree? The olive tree has certain characteristics. 1, معمرة, stays almost more than 1,000 years. 2, كلها خير. Everything comes out of olive tree is good. Its leaves, its fruits, its oil, everything. But it has another characteristics which is very strange. When you put a seed to plant an olive tree, how much time it takes for you to see the tree comes out, or even the plant? How much time? Years. 7 to 10 years. Why? لأنها تضرب لنفسها جذورا عميقة تحت الأرض. It puts its foundation. And this is the characteristic of المؤمن. I was told by my teacher, says, يا وليد إذا كان الذي يرى منك مثل الذي لا يرى منك فأنت على خطر. If you do one good deed في العلن, outside, you should at least do 2 or 3 under. Otherwise, you won't have foundation. When the wind comes, it will take you. So this is the mu'min. That's why it's an olive tree. زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية. We have no discrimination against color, race, religion, or language. Okay? That's why at IMC we have no whatsoever. We have here Christians, we have Muslims, we have all nationalities. The idea is, by being good and applying those divine standards, you show everybody الخير الذي نزل على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. You show the goodness of this ummah through your work and your interaction وعمارة الأرض. The second verse, في بيوت أذن الله أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه. The houses that God have announced that His name will be raised. Or what are these houses? Mosques. Every single time for the last 7 years, I ask the question, I get the same answer. A mosque and then a pause. And I say, when the day comes, and the answer will be mosque, school, university, industry, factory, schools, that's the day this ummah will be victorious. والله ما هزمنا إلا عندما وضعنا الإسلام في المسجد وأغلقنا عليه الأبواب. It's the school, university, mosque, hospital, factory. فنريد أن يكون هذا كل بيوت هي بيوت من بيوت الله سبحانه وتعالى يرفع فيها اسمه قولا وفعلا باتباع مبادئ الإسلام من الصدق والأمانة والإخلاص والعمل الجماعي والإيثار والعدل والمساواة. We need to have all these houses, the factory, the school, the university, the houses of God, by applying the divine standards every minute we do. The verse after that, رجال لا تلهيهم تجارة ولا بيع عن ذكر الله. When the Quran says men, he says men and women. Men who do not get distracted from the the interpreter said بدون هؤلاء الرجال لا تعمر البيوت وبدون هذه البيوت لا يرى نور الله في الأرض. نريد أن نري نور الله في الأرض من خلال تطبيقنا للمعايير الربانية في القطاع الصحي. We would like to show the light of God through applying the divine standards in healthcare. That's my mission in life, and I do hope and pray that there'll be infectious people here in this place who one day will apply everything and extract it and extrapolate it to their industry, inshallah. جزاكم الله خير.
To make all your dreams inshallah
آمين
reality
إن شاء الله.
and support you all the way through.
آمين إن شاء الله.
I
apologize for keeping you longer than. طيب. Well, I should be giving you the thanks and the reward for coming here today. طيب.
Why don't you come this side and have a group photo with Dr. Ali?
إن شاء الله بإذن الله.
Mention to them, all of people are taking photos of the books. All of the books names are Dr.
أيوة. Anybody interested to read any of the books I showed today, a copy of those books are in the presentation we gave you. Just if you want to refer to those books, inshallah, and read them.
عايزين ناخد صورة الناحية الثانية.
مش هنا؟ ليه ما تكون الأحسن؟ الباك جراوند ده قدام ما ينفع؟ أظنه أجمل عشان وراك اللوجو ولا إيش؟ مش كده أفضل؟ يعني we can do 2 lines, we can do we can have كده and then have one ولا؟ we can do it إن شاء الله. تعال دكتور محمد. حتى we can leave this one here, we can leave it open. ما شاء الله تبارك الله. الله يجزيك خير، شكرا، الله يجزيكم خير. طيب إذا نخلي ده هنا، هذا مصحف ما شاء الله تبارك الله.
وفين الدرع يا زفر؟ What is the درع؟
كأنه القطع حق الكعبة. طيب خلي ده هنا، جميل، فوق اللوجو، حطه كده توسطه، خليه يتوسطه، ممتاز. Absolutely good. كده nice. Commitment to accuracy. Good. Okay, good. لا ما كفى ولا ايه؟
This is the first mile program. احنا كنا في المدينة لمدة أسبوع نصلي 5 صلوات في الحرم.
ما شاء الله.
وراحوا زاروا الآثار التاريخية كل يوم بعد الفجر من 6:30 ل 7:30 مع explanation from historian, Islamic historian about the leadership style of the Prophet, change management, crisis management.
كويس. الله يجزيكم خير.
شكرا دكتور.
جزاك الله خير. امين ان شاء الله. شكرا. ان شاء الله. سعيده. شكرا لك. سعيده. شكرا لك. الله يجزيك خير. شكرا. اسفين على الحصل. السلام عليكم. شكرا. ثانك يو. ثانك يو فيري ماتش. شكرا. ثانك يو. جزاك الله خير. شكرا. الله يحفظك ان شاء الله. شكرا دكتور. سعيده. شكرا لك. ثانك يو. شكرا لك. الله يحفظكم ان شاء الله. معنا كل خير واليوم جزاك الله خير. شكرا. شكرا. السلام عليكم. شكرا لكم. الله يحفظك. ثانك يو سو ماتش. يو كوايت ويلكم. ثانك يو. الله يجزيكم خير. شكرا لك. شكرا. السلام عليكم. لا سأتونا سأتونا. طيب طيب ممتاز. I will. Where in where which town? I went to Cape Town.
This year is too late.
My pleasure. Thank you. Yourself.
My God, yes.
Inshallah. I went to Cape Town with the MBO. It was very nice.
It's on the East Coast.
It's great. Walaikum assalam. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks a lot. جزاكم الله خير. Thank you. ايوه عارف ما شاء الله. Thank you. سعيد انك كنت معنا. لا طبعا لا سعيد. صالح one of the أول سيرجري.
وأول واحد سجل في مايل من فلوس.
He had the first surgery done at IMC by Dr. صالح الواحد. First surgery. شكرا. الإثقة أيوة شكرا.